So let's talk about AI. Let's get right into it. So, uh, like to start off, I really want to know what is your opinion on AI because it seems that every time we talk, AI just changes and it's changing faster and faster, like every week.
Yeah, the last time we talked, I think it was like a while ago, 6 months at least, and the
Something
AI
like that.
status was much, yeah, it was much different than today. Today, it's like, I was just while we were preparing for this, you know what I was watching? I don't know if you watched Invincible. It's like an Amazon show, something like a cartoon show, kind of similar to Superman. And
Right.
what they did is they added like Superman into it, made a crossover. And I
Mm.
think like I was just amazed by how long this movie has been going. Like it's almost like a movie length, Like I think
Mhm.
I just watched at least 5 minutes, and I think there's at least 5 more minutes into it. And the video quality is like God level. I think since last uh,
Okay, I think you froze for a little
video,
bit. What was that last part?
I think the last time we talked, Sedence, the model Sedence has came out, and I think in the video space it's been working wonders. And then
Yeah.
ChatGPT's Image 2 model has came out as well. That has also broke a lot of records in the lmarena.com. So there has been like a lot of like developments since then. And now I think we are now able to watch full-fledged episodes, not movies yet, but maybe like 10 minute episodes of things. Because I know there's One Piece, like One Piece anime. There's a
Yeah.
live action AI generated one by that, like that, and that was like really good high quality. There was like a fight between like Whitebeard and Marineford, and I was very amazed. And then there's another one in Naruto, with like Madara Uchiha versus the Shinobi Islands alliance scene,
Uh
and
huh.
it was very good quality. Like it's like I was not being bored at all. It was really fun to entertaining to watch.
So where do you see entertainment going with AI? Because when we think about AI, I know that a lot of people consume a lot of AI content nowadays. But when people think about being replaced by AI, most of the thought goes into AI being applied in the workforce. But what do you see AI happening outside of the workforce and into in entertainment, where we actually consume a lot of the products and a lot of the people that are really against being replaced by AI in the workforce, like seeing a lot of the AI content nowadays.
So in the entertainment industry, a lot of popular beliefs involve things about, like you have Netflix. I think if Netflix don't come up to speed with AI, they have the potential to be replaced by platforms that let you just add a single prompt, and then that prompt can generate you an entire series. Like if
Yeah.
a platform like that comes up, I think it can have the potential to replace Netflix. So Netflix right now needs to kind of like integrate into them. They're not going to be safe from AI, like they need to
Mhm.
start integrating AI tools into their platform. But yeah, I think most of the entertainment is going to come from AI. The video game, for instance, like the video games are being built by AI. You know how it works? Like you build a video game in an engine like Unreal or things like that,
Right.
like Unity. And then there's a set of physics rule that you have to abide. Those rules are all developed by the developer and things like that. I think now you have like platforms that let you type the world you want to generate, the physics rules, etc. And then you just like move through the AI's world, like without any code involved in it. So those are like very amazing stuff, I think.
N- no, it really is because we're seeing AI happening or affecting like every industry. I know that even I use AI all the time. Uh, and I try to keep up with everything happening in AI, but it just seems that it moves so fast and there's so many people working in AI that the thing that you know about AI could change from one day to another. So when it comes to entertainment, specifically, do you think we might get to a point that we see movies in the theater just produced by AI because we know CGI is used, and there was a time where, or there was a time when CGI was unheard of. Now we see CGI in every movie, but it just seems that the audience has to feel comfortable with seeing AI used in films. And right now, the only reason AI is not used as much is because it's so new that these production companies don't feel comfortable enough to use AI in the movies because they feel that it takes some artistry away from the movie itself. But if you know anything about creating AI art, there has to be some artistry uh, in that as well because you could spit out any prompt to um, like an AI LLM, but to really get something that you want, there has to be a lot of creativity behind that.
Yeah, I feel horrible for the artists because they're going to get hit the most, because now, like, if you can generate an entire series by one prompt, an entire industry is going to shrink a lot. So they will have to migrate into a different workspace. Like, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it seems like it's like if you fight against it, it seems like you're fighting against the impossible current, like,
Mhm.
so unfortunately, those are going to be the casualty people. On the other hand, I think there might be some possibilities about the government kind of like stepping in to kind of save all those people and like mitigate the effects, the negative effects of that industry just shrinking, so that maybe they can provide some training programs into different fields. But on the other hand, the trauma, there is going to be some trauma to people because they're going to be starting over life like at 40, at 30, 50. So I'm not sure if they'll be starting from scratch. Maybe they can branch the artistry off because even when we say like it's AI is going to replace computer programming, things like that, there are some things that computer programmers can still do. Artistry, I'm not really familiar with that industry, so maybe some will survive. But based on what I'm hearing, the industry has a potential to shrink a lot.
Right. But let's just take a look at animation for a second and think about the world before Pixar and the world after Pixar. Pixar changed animation as how it is, as at least I think it did. That before then, if you watch a movie from like say the 80s, like a cartoon movie, it's very different from a cartoon movie in 2000 to 2010 because a lot of computer power was or has been used to create animation films. I see AI doing a little bit of the same. That we're going to see a world without AI in entertainment, and we're going to see a world with AI in entertainment. And the things that you're able to do with AI are much more incredible. You could create an entire series, as you said, but for yourself. Isn't that kind of good? I mean, we do live in a content economy now, and an attention economy that your attention could go anywhere, and if anyone is able to create their own content specifically to what they want to see, I think a lot of production companies might need to start using AI, or if not, we're going to see something that happened with Blockbuster not being able to uh, integrate with the future of entertainment, and that's why Netflix took over. We're just going to keep seeing that over and over again if companies don't adapt to technology.
Yeah, the only thing I'm concerned about when you said there's going to be two contents classification, one being in person, like made by real people versus the AI one. The only thing I'm a little bit scared about that concept is the other content classification. The AI one is going to probably 100x the in-person one, right? Because it's only one prompt and the AI
Mhm.
models are getting cheaper and cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's like the possibility of AI generated content producing something like a masterpiece, like let's say something Lord of the Rings, when you add so much volume, right? The randomness can maybe push because some of the content I'm right now seeing, it's like they're very good quality, like they would actually capture my attention against the real one. But if there's so much being generated as well, unfortunately, that's going to strangle the the real content generated by real people. That's the only thing I'm scared of. So if you want that industry to continue on living or things like that, I don't think like the free market will allow us, because free market, what's going to happen? We're going to go towards the quality, which AI, unfortunately, because of the volume, the huge volume, has a higher chance of producing. So there
Mhm.
has to be some probably subsidies in the, what do you call, in the real person AI art area, you know.
Mhm.
That is a little bit scary. And I don't think they're going to add, they might not add subsidies or things like that. So I think, unfortunately, at the end of the day, there might be only one type of content, which may be AI.
So what you're saying
Or
is that
also,
what you're saying is that we're going to be consuming only AI content?
I think mostly AI content, and then there's going to be another type where probably like celebrity people are producing real content, just AI, or the celebrity people, or maybe like some niche areas as well. But I think there is a possibility that 80% of the field, the entertainment field, can be dominated by AI. That's just my personal. I hope it doesn't, but I think it might be dominated because it's just they have the volume. AI has the volume, and we
Yeah.
don't produce. For us to produce something, it's very expensive.
Because we have to look at it this way. Let's take Netflix for example. Netflix is a public company. So the bottom line is increasing their profits. So they're going to think about profits more than the creative process behind it. They have to think about the creative process to a certain extent. But if they're able to increase their profit margins, they're definitely going to take a look at AI content. Because now look at this. Netflix has done like A/B testing. You're probably given a different movie poster or movie thumbnail than I am for certain movies because it knows what you'd be more attracted towards. So they could even get into the space that the film they push to you might be different or a different version to the film pushed to me. And this could all be done possible by AI. So you could see a totally complete different version of the same film than I'm watching. And it could all be possible by AI. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
With the
So
AI, there's just going to be so many, since there's going to be volume, there's going to be so many like niche areas, and then the recommendation systems are might be pushing those niche areas to like as it gets more and more niche, and if the recommendation system realizes that you're into one of those niche, there's a higher chance that there's not going to be an what do you call a real content, but only an AI generated content.
yeah, because it also knows if you watch an entire show or a movie and when you click out of that movie. So if they gather all that data, they will know the niche that you're more likely to lean towards.
Exactly. The recommendation systems will know like exactly what niche, and then they might also see like infer other information from those niche areas. Like they might be like, hey, there's a relationship between people who like this niche and this hobby or this thing, you know. So they can actually like infer more and more personal data from just a niche you like, because I think there is actually some research going on in that area right now.
I mean, that's really incredible what AI is able to do. And when you also take a look at the amount of people that are going to be losing their jobs because of AI, it's also something that comes through my mind that if the people in the workforce are scared of AI that they just won't use it, every single person that refuses to use AI is going to become a blockbuster, right?
So I think that companies are kind of forcing people to use AI, like whether they like it or not. They're like either use AI or we'll find someone who will use AI. And unfortunately, I think that's a very pressurizing kind of statement that will kind of push people to use
Mhm.
AI more and more. So it's like I think people maybe they don't want to use it, but they're being forced by their managers to use it. I've witnessed that myself and from my own environment as well. They're usually like, hey, use AI, increase productivity, this and that.
Yeah, which I don't know why people would refuse to use AI if it makes your job easier. I think people just have a huge ego that they just think that they're going to be replaced by AI. But how can you be replaced by AI when you're the one using it? You need someone behind AI to be able to make it work. And because we might be,
Sure, sure. It's also worth noting that China has recently outlawed the layoffs due to AI replacement. There was a court case, and China kind of the China's approach, I think, is the most aggressive approach. They just straight out outlawed the layoffs. But I think we might start seeing things like automation tasks because the fears are, the fears are kind of valid. Like it's like one day AI might just because for coding, like coding based on
mhm.
my own job, programming like that, it's doing a scarily good job, like it scares me a lot sometimes. But still I use it, like I have to use it or else they'll find someone who use AI.
No, yeah. And how do you use AI?
How do I use AI? Usually, you just so the way kind of software engineering, we have tickets, right? Every 2 weeks, they give
Uh,
us new tickets. They're like, hey, fix this part of the software, fix that, change this, add this, etc. So thankfully, right now, you don't just put the ticket and then it gives you the correct changes. You usually have
Ooh.
to usually have to add there some expertise, some software and expertise, some understanding exactly the client wants, like those areas. Thankfully, there's still not much AI. So once you add those, though, which usually takes like a little bit, not too much of the time, usually AI gets the job done, like so there's only a
Yeah.
small area, like the area is just getting shrinking and shrinking over time. I remember back in 2023,
Mhm.
I was like, well, for test cases, it's helping me. And then as time passes, I'm like, it's helping me there, here. And I'm like now I think it's helping you more than you actually do yourself. Maybe like 70%, 60%, it has the potential to do your job as a software engineer. And now it's just that 40% is just shrinking. Maybe the next time we talk, it's now 20%.
Yeah. But the thing about AI is, as I mentioned, you need someone to control it because AI cannot just work on its own commands. I mean, it can, but if you want to create something, you're going to not need to mold it how you want it to be. AI just can't make things out of thin air, right?
That is one thing about AI. Thankfully, right now, like college professors, research professors, their job seems to be safe because AI is, what do you call, not the best at hypothesis generation, like just basically, just like you said, making information out of thin air.
Yeah.
However, like based on the productivity boost and everything, like how fast things are moving, I think it might be possible that AI starts making things out of thin air, or conducting experiment themselves. For instance, there's an area called digital twin, like
Mhm.
that digital twin, it's basically like it takes your organ and then it simulates it. It's like a software defined organ, like you
Yeah.
have an organ and then, or you have an entire body. And then the model predicts how you will respond to a certain drug, how you will respond to a things. I think they're kind of right now, FDA, when they approve a drug, they have to follow like a person for 7 to 10 years, like they
Mhm.
have a three-phase trial. They still need time in the equation. And with these
Yeah.
software-defined features, like you can now remove the time in the future, at least for the control group, for the experiment group. I think there's still some time, but for the control group, which is kind of nice because in a trial, half of the participants get the drug, half of the participants don't get the drug. Nobody knows who got the drug, who doesn't. Some people are just left to not get the benefits of that new drug. So if they
Right.
can like fix that, that's actually a change for good. Imagine a cancer drug and then a certain drug like doubles the survival time. But you're in the control group, you don't get that drug.
Mhm.
Those are like kind of double blind, what do you call experiments. So digital twin, for instance, I think is a great scenario, like where AI or models can actually help people, there. So
Yeah, I think AI overall is a net positive. There's a lot of positive that comes with AI, but again, it's so new that people just don't understand the possibilities of AI. And to some people, it might be scary going into like a world that you quite don't understand. And I think AI is making that happen because we're going into uncharted territories.
Exactly. And just like you said, like, yeah, I think right now, I think we're still safe for information generation. Like the academia is still a little bit safer, but by when it's like around 2040, 2035, we might start seeing some experiment versions of information generation models. And yeah, they might be a little bit scary, but I don't know. Like right now, nobody, it can be a utopia, it can be a dystopia, like it's like right now, the decisions that people are going to make are governors are going to make, it's going to probably be the most critical decisions in the human history.
Hmm. How soon do you think we could get to Gen AI?
What's that?
How soon do you think we could get to Gen AI?
I think generative AI, we're already there right now. We've been there for a very long time. But when you say like Gen AI, do you mean like information generating, like new information, creating new information out of thin air
I think
kind
that's what
of
I
AI?
mean. Or like AI that thinks for itself.
Yeah, I think like Ray Kurzweil, he's the most famous technical futurist out there. A lot of his predictions have came true. He has been predicting that AGI, artificial general intelligence, will
Yeah, that's what I mean.
come out.
AGI.
Yeah, 2029. That's the number that he gave, 2030. And another number he gave is will be by 2031, around that time, we'll be solving all diseases as well, because just like digital twin area, that area has been seeing a boom. So I think AGI, maybe usually I've seen some researchers saying Ray Kurzweil is usually optimist, but
Hmm.
maybe AGI might be out there by 2032 or something like that.
2032. Man, that's like 5 years from now.
Yeah, it's insane,
Like five, yeah, I mean 5, 6 years from now. That uh no, we could definitely get there by 2030 though.
Yeah, it's very possible. Like if there are some enough breakthroughs, which I know like it has potential because researchers are probably right now having their golden age thanks to AI.
Yeah.
Like when I know some of my research projects, like before ChatGPT, we spent 3 months to get a certain device working for a small task. And right now, when you have AI, and that was because the lack of documentation, like the documentation was official, hard to read, etc. But when you have AI, like I think you can easily solve that in 2 hours.
So you're basically saying that AI itself could read the documentations that it could produce results much faster, right? Because you feed AI documentation, say that you're building an API, you feed it all the documentation so it knows exactly how to do certain tasks that it feeds or yeah it feeds on that information in an instant that it already knows anything it has to know.
Exactly, and there's a few like strategies they use. Like the more documentations they exist about a certain topic, the better AI can understand it. Sometimes they have the issue of contradicting documents and things like that. So that's like still an active, ongoing research area, especially about fact checking.
Hmm.
But I think in the majority of the cases, most documentations are going to support each other. And yeah, the more copies you have, the better chance that AI can, what do you call, apply those documentations for your case.
So what do you think is the consensus in the field right now in people that are forced to use AI? Do you think it's um I mean, I wouldn't really say forced to use AI because that's already sounds negative. But do you think anyone that works with AI and is entering the workforce from college, do you think that they're afraid of it for the most part?
Oh,
Those that, yeah,
absolutely.
those that work in tech.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone has a certain amount of scare Right now, the seniors are safe. The juniors are, I think they can still find jobs, but not the most optimal, like probably at startups or things like that.
Mhm.
It's like it's gotten so much tougher for juniors and new
Oh
graduates.
yeah.
The mid-level, they're still struggling, but they're still like above the water. The seniors
Oh
are still
yeah.
safe and probably will be safe for the next 10 years or 5 years, something like that. But yeah, I think everyone, even the seniors, are scared because the more they see like AI is able to do better, it's like you just feel a natural feel. How am I going to make my living? Like what's going to happen
Mhm.
to me and things like that.
So do you think that a computer science degree is still useful?
Yeah, that's a very tough question. Is a computer science like it's a risk? I think it's becoming a risky degree. If you want something a safer degree, I think nursing. I've heard it's a little bit AI proof because if you want nurse to solve exactly nursing, you have to also solve robotics and things like that.
Mhm.
Healthcare is thrown as a safer field, especially nursing, more like blue collar areas. But on the other hand, what do you call for white collar areas, it is getting riskier and riskier for computer science, especially like depends on the area of computer science. If you do like IT support, where you have to go support the customer or things that you can't do remotely, right?
Yeah.
I think you have a higher chance of survival. But let's say you're working at a data center, you're there to, like plug in the cables, etc. I think data center construction and things like that, data center IT support where you get your hands dirty. I think those are a little bit more safer bets. But the
Mhm.
last time I checked the IT support areas, the salaries were much lower compared to software engineers, like probably like a lot, like at least half.
Really?
That's what
Yeah.
I saw. Like,
Because another argument is that plumbers are also safe from AI, electricians, but there are certain skills, like nowadays, say that I'm having an issue with my plumbing at home. I could just go on ChatGPT, take a photo of the issue itself, and ChatGPT could tell me exactly what's going on and how to fix that issue. Therefore, I could fix it myself without having to call a plumber. So when you say that certain jobs are safe from AI, like is that really true? Or is it just making it more accessible for someone that's not a plumber to do the plumbing themselves?
so even before AI, there were YouTube videos on how to fix certain things like your car. And if you follow the instructions and spend a certain amount of mental energy, you could like fix some components of your car, not all, some require heavy expertise, and you still have a risk of breaking things, like
Yeah.
there's a non-negligible risk. And it's the same for AI. If you take a picture, AI is going to give you instructions, but usually there's just so many factors, like in a real life scenario, there's just so many factors you have to be conscious about that the risk of messing something up is still up there. So like, and plus some people are not going to have the mental energy. Like I can technically fix a lot of things, a car, furniture, let's say like electronics and things like that.
Uh
However, it's
huh.
like just like we discussed, we have a job, a full-time job, we come home, we have hobbies and things like that. Do we really want
Hmm.
to? So it's more about feasibility, like if AI can one day reduce the amount of time I spend on my car to fix, let's say, my brakes to 1 minute, like that's a
Yeah.
very negligible time, then yes, like mechanics should probably be a little bit scared. But even with AI, I think I'll still have to spend like maybe an hour or something like that.
Okay, so it really just comes down to like not wanting to take the risk of fixing things yourself.
The risk, and if you want to spend the mental energy, if you have the energy to allocate a
Mhm.
certain amount of energy into this, so,
Yeah.
but as certain things become more and more feasible, like let's say that the predictions of how much energy you should spend on fixing a car with AI reduce, then people will probably start taking the initiative. The cost of entries, into let's say fixing a car, requires tools and things like that, lots of different parts, and the cost of entry is higher. So it's
Yeah.
like as they start reducing, which I think there's still some time for those areas, then I think the blue collars should start worrying about if AI is going to take their job.
Yeah, which makes the sense for the workforce in general because you could have AI running certain operations in your business, but who's going to be there when things go wrong and they need to be fixed, right?
Exactly, like you can probably diagnose some issues with AI right now, thanks to ChatGPT and things. But if you have a huge scale system, that like it's not going to you won't be able to diagnose every single issue. Now, the percentage of the issues you can diagnose with AI for a whole
Mhm.
huge scale system is increasing, is an increasing trend. But right now, it's a very risky approach to just get rid of your engineers and think that AI can diagnose everything.
Yeah, there's just some people that are way too confident over AI, uh, and yeah, we need to think about the fact that AI could make things go wrong, and if there's no one there to fix those issues, then your business is going to face a lot of problems.
Exactly, and that's true for most fields as well. Like
Yeah,
things can go wrong. Usually, you need responsibility. That we have an entire insurance industry, like so that we can kind of mitigate certain risks. So you may need some personnel for them to take responsibility or at least show compliance and things like that. So there's still some use of personnel, and not
yeah,
some, a lot probably.
yeah. So for the most part, we're pretty safe right now.
Yeah, safe right now, knock on wood, like yeah, but every year it's getting more and more risky. I think the area of translation is getting close to dying, unfortunately. Like yesterday, I just watched a YouTube video on someone from Cambridge talk about like how she's been getting less and less work over time, and now it's just like nothing. She's from
Mm,
Cambridge, like and
yeah.
yeah, like she no longer does translation, and her customers just blatantly tell her like, hey, our client wants to do this AI with AI. So it's like, yeah, some fields are kind of in the process of dying right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll see what happens because yeah, there's a lot of people using AI, but then again, it's so new that we have not really faced a huge issue when things just go wrong and there's no one there to fix those issues because if for a client that uses AI rather than your product or your service, then something going wrong, we still haven't seen that at a mass scale, and it just seems like it will happen, and people will start to realize that AI is a tool that people could use, but it's not the end product itself. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes complete sense on that
Yeah,
one.
but listen. So I enjoyed this talk with you. I mean, it was a short talk, but I enjoyed talking about AI and how things are changing. And let's do it again because AI is just changing so fast, like stupid fast, that we just don't know what's going to happen a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, I enjoyed our talk a lot as well. Like every time we talk, it's just there's so many more information on the topic, and it's like we never run out of information. It's just insane how fast like we can just sit here and talk for like 12 hours and still not be done with 10% of the topic. It's just like it's just changing so fast.
Yeah.
Imagine like just let's just hope that the next time we see each other, let's just hope that the AI hasn't taken over like our life and turned it into a dystopia. Let's just hope that we still have free will and stuff.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure it would happen, but who knows? We'll see. But I mean, overall, like I'm pretty excited to see what happens with AI because it is new. It like everything that's happening with AI is new. We just don't know what's going to happen. We hear these talks about AGI happening and the Terminator, but who knows? Like it could be a net positive or net negative. So
Yeah, I personally like what you call watching what's going to happen with AI as well. Just like Heraclitus said, like the only thing that doesn't change is the change itself. I kind of
mhm.
like watching like what things are changing in what fields and things like that. It's like whether you like it or not, the changes unfortunately is going to happen. Like it's like we have some nostalgia. I have some nostalgia as well. I miss some things from the past, but
Yeah.
it's like what can you do? Like we change. You have to adapt, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we'll just keep an eye out to see what does change.
Yep, likewise. I'll
All
look
right.
at it into it as well.
All right. Well, listen, it's been fascinating.
Yep, likewise. I really love talking to you, man. It's really fun.
All right. Well, you have a good one, man.
You too. Take care.